Keir Starmer was asked today if it was appropriate for Israel to cut off power, to cut off water to the Gaza Strip. He said Israel does have that right, with the caveat, obviously everything should be done within international law. I'm no doubt you're familiar with Article 54 of the Geneva Conventions from the 1977 Act. Starvation of civilians as a method of warfare is prohibited. So what was Sir Keir Starmer talking about?
What he was talking about was that Israel has been the victim of terrorism. And
we understand that.
And Israel has an absolute right to defend itself.
We understand that.
And there is an ongoing war going on at the moment. We've heard tonight, haven't we, that planes can't land in Tel Aviv. The Foreign Secretary has been put into a bunker. I mean, the war is active at the moment, and Israel needs to be able to not only find all the terrorists, but also rescue the people who have been...
But starvation of civilians as a method of warfare is prohibited.
And I mean, I don't know on a day-by-day basis what the plan is. I do know, as you know as well, that Blinken is going over to Israel, that there is a...
You're not dealing with this point that I'm putting to you.
I am dealing with it.
It is prohibited to attack, destroy, remove or render useless objects indispensable to the survival of the civilian population, such as foodstuffs, agricultural areas, crops, livestock, drinking water,
yes,
etc.
And we've just heard, haven't we, from the former permanent representative to the United Nations, that if there is, you know, as part of perhaps and as I say, we don't know, and we're not in a position to be commentators in a way in terms of what the tactics will be on a day-to-day basis in relation to Israel, apart from the fact that they're defending themselves.
Well, but they're cutting off food, electricity and water.
Let me finish. So if they are going to go into Gaza in order to be able to get the hostages, if, as the permanent representative has said, you know, that if there was a short period where they were taking one, but it was a short period and they were taking one particular tactic, and then there was
They've already cut off the food.
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is
that against international law. It's really simple. Sir Keir Starmer doesn't seem to think it is.
What is simple is that whatever actions are taken by a democracy, it has to be done in accordance with international law. And we have heard tonight from the President of the United States that he has been on the phone to Netanyahu, and both of them have agreed that democracies need to act in accordance with international law.
Pause there, if I may. Do you think cutting off food, water and electricity is within international law?
I think that Israel has an absolute right to defend itself against terrorism.
That's not the question I asked.
It is an answer to the question that you've asked, and I think it's an appropriate one at this time.
Why won't you answer whether you think it's in line with international law or not?
Because I've tried to answer, and I've tried to say that we've already heard from your previous guest about what might be happening on a day-to-day basis. So we're now on day 4. And so we hear that there are troops massing on the border. There may well be an incursion. Immediately before an incursion, then, as the permanent representative have said, that it might be appropriate in those circumstances for there to be the sort of action that we've heard about. And then the invasion afterwards. I don't know, because at the moment we're in the middle of a hot war, and Israel is in the middle of defending itself, and we have to stand with Israel, just like we would expect people to stand with us if we were the victims of terrorism as well.